Good evening. Welcome to the Tony Onying Show, previously the platform show, proudly sponsored by the Pint on Conscious Africa, creating opportunities beyond boundaries. Who does not want to succeed? Well, as I said before, the essence of our being is because of your being. And what are we doing here? We're trying to make sure that we change minds, puzzling, and all what have you. Now, today we're going to discuss something very interesting. Just 10 minutes of your time, maybe 11 if you will allow me to do so. So today I want to discuss literally, or perhaps throw through my thoughts around the young people and the 21st century. Industrialization. This is something that everybody else is thinking about. We are in school, what next? The world of work is changing. Why am I still doing this course? Is the university even thinking about reviving the curriculum? No. Why are they static and yet things are changing? Why are employers not taking my sister? My brother's been home for the last 6-7 years. Why are they not taking him? We are hunting for jobs across borders. If my own country cannot take me, which country is going to take me? Now, these are all things and thoughts that we come about. And to make matters worse, by the way, 2019, something like that, there was this monkey, COVID-19, boom! It set up. And then we started learning those skills, those words, the new words. Lockdown, curfew. Trust me, a student of literature never knew the word curfew. Maybe it was somewhere I never read it. Perhaps I didn't ever use the word. There was no scenario for me to use it. Lockdown? What the hell is lockdown? I've heard of lockdown in some countries. I've heard of curfew happening in some countries. Maybe I've been way beyond behind the board. But that's not what's important. What's important today is what have we done with the experience of COVID-19? Everybody who is watching this, you definitely want to ask me what COVID is. And I'm not going to that definition. I'm not a doctor. Social scientist, a lawyer, a banker, that's who I am. Now, let's look here. We have 3 people, and I want to suppose audience for this show. If they're not here, make sure you share this clip with them. Number 1, we have the students. Number 2, we have the parents. Number 3, we have the school. If I've forgotten anything, remind me in your comments. Now, this is what is happening. Students are sent to school, and all they want to do is come back with first class, maybe be number 1. I've also wanted to be number 1, by the way, when I joined university first time. Parents, very happy my child is finally at the university. My child is studying medicine, is studying law, is studying social sciences. He's going to be a very serious person. That is what parents are thinking about every day they wake up. That's why they'll give you everything you ask for. If it means selling the last thing they have, they will sell it. Then, the university. The university wants to be marked as the most powerful university in the world. How is the most powerful university weighed again? Is it by the number of first classes they produce? Is it by the number of students that they educate? Is it by the number of innovative minds, the number of employable resources that they produce? That is a question that I want to answer right now. But of course, you are thinking about it. Now, what we need to understand, starting with the student side, is to remember that you are entitled to the parents because they are your sponsors. That means you need to do something that makes them happy. A parent wakes up and says, Tony, I want you to be a lawyer. But Tony, in the back of your mind, that is not who really you are. Then we are tied up by these thinking that, guess what, I can't afford my fees and I don't have what it takes to challenge my parent. What if he says no and I stay at home? I've been in that situation before, but I won't share with you that story. It may have different feelings that some may not be able to take it. But before we take that, give me a second. Thank you. Now, what you need to think about as young people, when you are in school, do that course that your father, your mother has given you. But what you need to remember is, as a human being, you have the ability to tune your mind to something that you need. I am talking to you today. I'm a digital champion wherever I am, managing technology that I did not study. But my first degree is in social sciences. I did development studies. And to make matters worse, I'm not even pursuing any MBA or a master's in technology. I'm actually finalizing with my law school. It doesn't connect, right? What is important is, I always wanted to be a lawyer, but I said, why don't I do this thing, tune my mind so that I can survive in it? What is important is not the paper scholarship, the paper achievement. What is important is the hand, the mind, the ability to do something. So while in the institution, in the university, what you need to acknowledge is this. Number one, remember every day that you're above 18 years old, and that means you have no right to keep asking your parents for upkeep or anything. You need to think. Secondly, at 18 years, you're supposed to be able to discern between what is good and what is not good. In other words, you should be thinking of that person that you want to become. And to become that person, you might need to sacrifice an additional time out of your class to go out and learn it. Because remember, by the time you're out of school, chances are that 80% of you young people, your family is not going to give you the same upkeep they were giving you while still studying. You definitely share the sentiment with me. But then the question is, what then do you want me to do, Tony? The issue is, become part of a vital club in your school. Chat with your career master, mistress often. If there is a possibility of giving you a voluntary action or activity in the school, go for it. You know what's important is not the voluntary activity that you're doing. What is important is knowing that this is how the workplace is. And then you'll be forced to think back into what you are actually doing in class. Now, talking about the academia, we don't need to blame the schools for the syllabus that they teach. The schools, I learned recently, by the way, especially we who are not scientists, I learned recently that somebody asked me, Tony, for the 8-9 years you've been in the corporate market, what is it that you've learned from school that you're applying? I told them English. I learned English. And that is what I'm using to write those reports that I'm making today, including this audio, this video that I'm sharing with us today. It is by virtue of what I studied in class. I learned what I would tag as the soft skills of survival. The real skills of survival, I went an extra mile. I worked in the factory. I worked in the dirty spots. I worked in a restaurant serving customers food. I tried every piece of thing. So today, when we see we young people, we're saying, I am doing a degree, so all that I need is a managerial role. That is not it. For you to become a manager in any organization, you need to earn it. And if you want to earn it faster, then prepare to learn the skills before you even graduate. What's the essence of shedding tears on graduation when all you did in school was to study and study and study? What else do you have to share if during your graduation somebody is watching you, and they're like, oh, that person really did it. But the question, the unasked question is, what does she have to offer? Can we hire her? What if she doesn't have nothing? You don't know computer skills, you don't know Microsoft programs. You do not know a thing. All you know is what you crammed in class. Will you blame government for that? Will you blame your parents for that? Will you blame your course? The course is nothing. It is you. It is you. Schools, all we urge for is give the students more time. If it means giving them 60% instead of 70% learning time, give them 60 and let them know what to use the 60% with. Create partnership with organizations out there where these children can go and volunteer if that needs to be done. I can't tell you how, but think. Because you see, the human being is created differently. We have the outgoing students and we have those who cannot. Help understand these young people. If you don't want them to come out and blame the school, then listen to them. Listen to them, create that opportunity. Let's, as teachers, do not be mean to the students. Don't say that my child is out there struggling. What am I doing for this stranger? That's not how a teacher does it. Whether primary school, secondary school, tertiary, university, whatsoever, you're a professor or whatsoever, everybody is subject to a personality test. Let's help the young people. Let's change the environment. And then lastly, going back to the parent cycle. Parents, yes, we pay school fees. But there is this urge called the childhood dilemma. The dynamics of childhood. You produce children who are like you, others are not like you, others are totally different. Do not abandon these children in the hands of the teachers, of the lecturers. Remember, if you want to reap out of what you're sowing, then sow properly. Check on the plant every day, see how the plant is growing. It is an entitlement. Let's think about that. Let's put our hands together and join the struggle to make these children better, to make the world a better place. Because remember, if you raise your child in a way that makes them successful, they are going to raise their children in a better way. That's what we need to remember. If you leave your children to grow on their own, they are going to be on their own, and you will face the scenarios where the child is bringing back the degree and saying, Daddy, here's your degree. How do you feel as a parent? Kill the child? Blame the school? No. There is an aspect called parenting. It's an entitlement. It's a God-given thing. You have no right to drop it. So, putting together the different stakeholders, the students, the parents, the school, we all have a right to play to make the world a better place. So while you're in the university, students, do not give your all into classwork. Check out on those internships. Check out for the volunteer programs. Check out for everything that you think is going to make you different from the rest of the team. All it takes is nothing but yourself. We've always mentioned that. We've read about that quotation. Now is the time to try. Type your dial. So, if you need to get more of this, do subscribe to our channel. Check out the Python Consults Africa on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. And you can also drop us an email, pythonconsults@gmail.com. We'll be glad to reach out to you directly. But what is very important is to make the world a better place. It starts with us. It starts with our individual minds, and that is what it takes. Thank you so much. See you again in my next episode. Tony Onying.